the truth of it is you have to just water when the plants need it, which, depending on your apartment or garden situation, changes, right? Like in the winter, it's not as hot, or maybe the heater's on in your apartment and so it dries out faster. So I just say, do you do that finger test that I showed you? This was mine? I think so. Is this yours?
It's not mine.
It's not. Okay, so this must be mine. You do the finger test that I showed you, and you also look for signs of plant health. When a plant needs water, it's going to strain to the side. The leaves are going to be the right color, it's going to look healthy, but the plant itself is going to look weak. Simply because the cell structure of the plants doesn't have water in it, so the square cells start to collapse. So what I usually do is I make sure I'm using a watering can that has a rose or something that gently waters. If you do it under the tap, like if you have a sink, you just put your hand over the plant like a spider and let the water percolate down to the roots. Because again, like the leaves don't need water. It needs it in the roots. Okay, so because I do have this rose, you just go over it. No, that's no good. Children have been using this. You just water it overhead, and you kind of water way more than you think, and it's going to pool and puddle, and then sink down. Now what I'm looking for when I water is if water's coming out the bottom, because that's a sign that the soil itself has absorbed too much water. And that's how I know it's time to let it take a break. Good. Okay, good. So now I know that the soil is as saturated as it can possibly be. And what I would do is let this sit in my sink overnight. So I'd come home from work and I'd water, let it sit in the sink overnight. Then the next day, it's going to get the heat of the sun. It's going to be beautiful and glorious. There's going to be so much water in the soil. The water in the soil is going to allow everything that's in the soil to go up into the plant. The photosynthesizing is going to happen from the top. And then probably in like 2 or 3 days, you'll need to do that again.
Can you speak about time of day for watering outdoor plants?
Yeah, definitely. When it is hot, from like 11:30 until 3, if you water the plant, it's going to lose a lot of that to evaporation anyway. Also, when you have water sitting on the plant, on a sunny day, it's going to refract light and burn the leaves.
Oh.
So it's better to water in the morning if you can before like 10 o'clock, particularly on hot days. It doesn't hurt plants when it rains because there's clouds, but if you're the one watering and there are no clouds, it's just going to burn it like the way you burn things with a magnifying glass if you were a 9-year-old boy. The other thing is if you water at night, that's fine. At the end of the day, plants do need water, but just be aware that particularly towards the end of the year when fungal diseases are all around, if you leave your tomato plants wet overnight, there's a chance that they'll pass pathogens. So in the meantime, if the plants have healthy soil and they're trimmed back, they probably won't get very sick, and it's not a big deal. So, but the watering thing is simple. You just soak your plants, let them sit in the sink overnight or wherever to drain, and then give them a break for a couple of days until the soil feels lightweight and the plants look tired, and then you just go back at it again.